Dear friends, today I talk about Canada and its literature. I divided between these two words and made it together, so it conjuncted by and. In the sense, it will be a general introduction to Canadian literature. Canada is the second largest country in the world after Russia, and it occupies the northern America, the space, and it's greater than any country, including the United States of America. And its exploration took place during the 17th century. One Anna Branchwell, she explored in 1832. And earlier there were some explorations of the European travelers and navigators. And in the beginning of the history there was the rule of the French domination, and later British. So the language of the people, almost all were immigrants, not only from Europe but other countries like South Asian countries and America. All were immigrants. So Canada, so to say, it's a nation of immigrants, and there is no trace of aboriginal tribes as you find in case of the nation of New Zealand or of Australia. And there was prairies, the forests, waterfalls and rivers, and the climate is moderate in Canada throughout the year. And in the north there is a fall of hard snowfall and it is dry. And south Canada is very moderately hot, not very hot, and rains are intermittent. And the important cities are Quebec, Ontario, Ottawa, Manitoba. These are the famous cities in Canada. So the composition of population is almost cosmopolitan. So to say, all are immigrants from different nations, from Europe and South Asia and America, as I told you, even from South Africa. So it is a cosmopolitan nature, and though the main two languages are French and English, there are other languages also which are flourishing. And the society of Canada is a multiculturalistic society. There are diverse ethnic groups speaking different languages, and almost all they have retained their cultures. So it is a multicultural society, and there are two kinds of literature. Usually a nation has got one language literature, but Canada has two language literatures. There is a Canadian English literature and Canadian French literature. So the important writers we come to know now, when you make a survey of Canadian literature, the foremost nature, the feature of that Canadian literature is it's a literature of basically nature. Nature it plays a vital role in shaping of the history of Canadian literature. And in modern times there are other issues like gender issues and ethnic, racial issues and the cultural issues. All these are there in modern times. So the important writers, as you find one Susanna Moodie, who lived during the early part of the 19th century, she had in a journal, and on her another famous writer, Margaret Atwood, wrote her book, The Journals of Susanna Moodie. You know all that. And after her, we have got Alice Munro, a woman writer who wrote short stories in huge bulk, and she got the Nobel Prize for that. And we have the next important writer, the Margaret Atwood. She is a poet, a critic, environmentalist, a social activist, and she wrote 18 books of poetry and 18 novels and 11 books for children and fiction, non-fiction. And she got the Booker Prize, for her novel, The Blind Assassin. So she has written a lot of books, and her themes are of a diverse nature, the gender discrimination and racial issues, animal rights, feministic issues. So she covers almost all contemporary dominant themes in her fiction. And M.G. Vassanji, perhaps you may know that he is from South Africa, and he was a professor of physics, and he migrated to Canada, who has written the novel No New Land. So he is also one of the prominent Canadian writers. And another famous poet and a writer is from, strangely from, he's a Sinhalese born, but via Africa and America he came to Canada and settled down. Michael Vedanje, who is a famous poet and famous novelist also, and he has written a large number of poems on different issues, and his famous novel is the English Patient. So beside these writers, we have Ise Pratt, Kathleen McCullough, and other writers. So in modern times, we have got many more writers in Canadian literature, and it's very popular nowadays in the South Asian nations, and the Canadian scholarships to go abroad, go to the different universities in Canada and do research. So it is a very peaceful country with least ethnic and racial conflicts, most attractive, and having got a democratic system, and most beautiful and most secure and peaceful country in the world. So is their literature is full of wisdom and delight through novels, plays, poetry, and drama and fiction and travel books.